Ron Strobel, Sergeant at Arms, and our invocation this morning is by Catherine Symes. Please stand. I have it in my pocket, but I forgot.
Good morning, Rotarians. This morning I found an Apache blessing, which I just thought was really sweet. So that's what I'm going to share. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you by night. May the rain wash away your worries. May the breeze blow new strength into your being. May you walk gently through the world and know its beauty all the days of your life. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. I'm sorry, I really can't ever forget you, so. And lead us in the pledge and four-way test, Mimi Becker.
Would you please join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And in the four-way pledge of the things we think, say, and do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, Mimi. And now our president, Father Joe Boisel.
Good morning, Rotarians and guests. I want to begin. First of all, there is a foundation meeting this morning following this meeting here. So if you're part of the foundation, I assume others are welcome as well. Keith, anyone who wants to stay? Yeah, be part of that foundation meeting immediately following this. We're continuing our service project, the Akron Boys and Girls Club of Akron, and there's a long list of items needed, including paper towels, snacks that were like shelf life, preservable, that sort of thing, and so on. So if you could be part of that, that'd be great. Mimi has another announcement. That's why we kept her close. So we make you run back and forth.
Actually, it has two parts. The first part is if you're going to be away on the 8th of November, you can go on your computer and access the Summit County Board of Elections and request an absentee ballot request form, and they will send it to you, PDQ, and you fill it in and send it right back, and you will get your ballot in the mail fairly early. So that's number one. Number two, there's been a lot of concern in Summit County about the fairness, the honesty, the function, what happens to my vote wherever I cast it. And so on the 8th of September, the director and the associate director of the Board of Elections are going to be at the high school in room C212 at 7 o'clock. And they are going to give a presentation to walk us through it. If you're a poll worker, if you know people that are concerned about it, let them know. And there will be discussion following. So the process of our elections is under a lot of scrutiny these days. And so the league thought that this might be a good thing for us to do close by in Hudson. So it's sponsored by the League of Women Voters, but it's open to the public.
Thank you very much. One last announcement is that Patrick went to the cluster meeting in our behalf, and I'm grateful for that, being laying on the beach, not able to get there myself. Not able, not willing, not wanting to. And so we appreciate that. The cluster project for the year is a habitat house that we're building. Is there any information you know about that? Do we have any dates or times when we're going to build? Looks like it's going to be sometime the latter part of October, early November. Okay, latter part of October, early November, it looks like time that will, so more information coming forth on that. We have Jay come in just a moment, but right now we have a new member induction. Does anybody remember when former President Barack Obama was first inducted, first sworn in 2008, newly minted Chief Justice John Roberts administered the oath of office. And it was his first time he'd ever done it. And he stumbled and he bumbled. And then they got back in the hallway and they're like, let's do it all over again to make sure that it's right. Mandy, it might happen again today. All right. So just put you on notice there. My very first one. Let me tell you a little bit about Amanda Conley. She is coming to us as a resident of Hudson and an attorney with the local law firm. Mandy is being sponsored by Evan McCauley. Her membership was proposed to the board of directors and by Chairman Mike Swain at our last board meeting. The proposal was reviewed in accordance in constitutions in constitution bylaws and of the club and was unanimously accepted, something like that. So now I'm going to invite Mandy to come up and I'm going to invite Mike to come with her to stand in for Evan as we welcome her into this. Mandy, on behalf of the board and membership of the Rotary Club of Hudson, it's a great pleasure to welcome you as the newest member of our club. We look forward to the fellowship that we will share, as well as your participation in many club projects that make our community, country, and world a better place in which to live. Rotary is an organization of business and professional people pledged to uphold the highest ethical and moral standards. Rotarians believe that worldwide fellowship and peace can be achieved when business people unite with the Rotary motto, service above self. Rotary activities exemplify the charity and sacrifice that one would expect from people who believe that they have a responsibility to help others. Mandy, you've been chosen for membership in the Rotary Club of Hudson because your fellow members believe you to be a leader in our community, and because you possess the qualities to champion the message and the principles of Rotary. You now become an ambassador of Rotary, carrying the ideals of service up to all within your sphere of influence. Our community will know and judge Rotary by your character and service. We will also look to you for inspiration as we strive to become better Rotarians. We now ask your sponsoring Rotarian, or in this case, Mike, who's standing in for your sponsoring Rotarian, to vest you with the distinguishing badge of a Rotarian, your Rotary pin and name badge. We ask you to wear your Rotary pin with pride, not only to all Rotary functions, but in your many endeavors as a symbol of your commitment to Rotary ideals and our recognition of your contribution toward a better world. Fellow Rotarians, please rise and welcome Mandy Conley. Come on, John Roberts, that wasn't that hard. Okay, and next we have JR, who's going to come to us and share a little bit about marketing plan for this coming year.
Microphone up here. Okay. Good morning, Rotarians. I provided a handout. John, you can pick one up on the ledge back there so that you could follow along. And I'm not going to clomp through all of this. I just want to give you a brief outline. This morning, I'd like to share the marketing committee's plan for the new year for a few reasons. One, to make you aware of the tools that are available so that you can be ambassadors for Rotary. And I think that's really important. And secondly, I want to solicit some more help for the marketing committee because we've had a few changes within the committee. Just to sketch through this, there are a number of things we do and have done over the years. And the club newsletter, which I refer to as Maryland's masterpiece, has been a very strong addition as of a few years ago. And I think Maryland's planning to continue that. But that covers our program speakers and a certain number of other things that we do as Rotarians. Mike Swain made the suggestion that we need to get that to more people. And I think, Marilyn, you already have 250 people on your mailing list. I think that's what you told me. But we might decide to reprint that and have it available so that you can carry it with you and hand it to people and show them what we do. Press releases, there have been many on speakers, fundraisers, community events, you know them all. And fortunately, the Hub Times and Hudson Life have done a very good job of covering what we send to them. Now, they don't necessarily deliver their product to neighborhoods, but at least we can reprint the articles and use them as handouts. Promotion of the club meeting on videos. Of course, you know we're taking a video, it goes to HCTV and it goes to YouTube. And pretty quickly. And I think more of us need to refer our prospects and our friends to those presentations because they've all been outstanding. I don't think we've had a bad speaker in 5 years. And I don't know whether you understand this or not. You can go to our website and click through to YouTube and HCTV. It's easy. Monthly speaker themes. In the past, I've tried to talk specifically about speakers that were going to appear. It's a little difficult to do that too far in advance. So I think what I'm going to do is publish something that shows the themes that we cover over the various months. And hopefully that will attract some interested people. Education support, you know it all, service learning, scouting, four-way speech. There's a lot we do in that category, and we do a lot of publishing about that. Community social events, Santa on the Green, oh my goodness. The beer garden, we've got a winner there. So we'd like to keep that in front of the community too. Environmental projects. For the first time in a couple of years, we've had a major environmental project, and we've had now 2 pollinator gardens at 2 elementary schools, and we've had a little publicity, but I think we need more because this is such an important project. Major project news, the Scout Cabin restoration has gone extremely well, and we've gotten a lot of good publicity. However, I think the next step is to have signage on the site, and that will talk a little bit about what we've accomplished and what's going to happen next. The foundation needs a little more exposure. I realize we haven't done much over the last couple of years for good reasons, but we need people to understand they can apply for a grant, and we need the community to understand who we've granted money to. Finally, the website needs to be kept fresh, and Evan McCauley's done this for 5 years. He's done a great job. And it's used for gala registration, for donations, for highlighting awards, and so on. We're going to need some help there because I think Evan has finally worn out in trying to keep that up to date. Finally, probably the most important thing about our marketing plan is you, individual Rotarians that are using these various tools to attract people and invite them to our meetings. And I'd like to see that continue. Everyone should bring a friend. But our committee, myself, I take a lot of photos and write some articles. Nikki Kowalski has done some great work for us, but she now tells me that she's going for her MBA in addition to being a council person and also working a new job. So we need some help there. Evan, we'd like to get somebody to work on the website. Marilyn, hopefully she continues. Mike Swain always does a great job. And Tom Petropoulos has taken over for James for the video. It looks like he's done a great job. So I have a question. Who out there has marketing experience? Oh, come on. Okay, there's one. Well, I'll find you because I need help, and please volunteer if you have an interest in joining our committee. It's a good committee. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, it is. All right, that's a good point. Thank you.
It's a bargain. That's what Rotary, it's a bargain. Right there, I just contributed, the slogan. It's Jim Ahern is going to come and introduce our guests.
Good morning. Hey, as Jay mentioned, we have themes for every month. And this month, August, we wrap it up this Wednesday. And the theme was social justice or something related to that. One of the things we talked about, this is months ago, in relation to this particular theme was, well, let's look for things that maybe are organizations or efforts just in Hudson we may not know about. And so we found a couple out of the 5 talks. There was a couple of them I didn't know that a couple of these even existed. So I think we'll learn some things, and maybe even some of the other things that were raised awareness for some others. For the first 11 years, First Serve has been an annual day of service led by the First Congregational Church of Hudson in partnership with the Islamic Society of Akron and Kent and Temple Beth Shalom of Hudson, along with the support of many other faith communities in Hudson and in the Akron area. And First Serve focuses on projects in the North Hill community of Akron. We're the benefit of 3 speakers today, and hopefully all the cool stuff they brought to look at works as well as it looks like it should, but hopefully we'll make it work. Sue Wimer started out as a kindergarten teacher in Hudson. For the past 17 years, has worked at the First Congregational Church of Hudson as the director of stewardship, but now is the director of outreach and First Serve. Sue and her husband, Darren, live in Hudson for over 25 years, raising their 2 sons, and have recently downsized and live in Akron. Kres Stoehr has spent 22 years as a law enforcement ranger with the National Park Service. That would be interesting. And now is the co-director of First Serve. Kres and her husband, Paul, have lived in Hudson for 16 years, and they also have 2 sons. And we're also have the privilege of meeting one of their summer interns, and it's Katie Bavitsky, who's a senior at Hudson High School. So I don't know who's going first, if you're all going it together, but let's give a round welcome to our guests.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting us to be here to share information about First Serve. Katie just passed out 4 tape measures. Catherine, can you, with that tape measure, measure your binder and tell us how many inches is that? 13 inches. All right. Sue, can you measure your shoe size? 12 inches. Thank you. James, the gentleman next to you, could you measure his height, please? Oh. 6 feet. Thank you. It's easy to measure things, but how do you measure hope? It's not as simple as pulling out a tape measure. Relationships build hope, trust builds relationships, and First Serve builds trust. Let me tell you a story about our new friend, Brett. For the past 3 summers, Chris and I have hired summer interns from Hudson High School and North High School. It's the Akron Public School located just south of here on Route 8. These interns help us prepare for our annual day of service in September. This past spring, Brett, a soon-to-be graduate from North High School, applied for the internship guided by his school counselor and principal. We hired Brett along with his classmates, Tanya and Chandra. And from Hudson High School, we hired Katie, Jeremiah, and Lillian. On the first day of work, we discovered that Brett took 2 Metro buses to get himself to our meeting location at North High School. He woke up at 4:30 a.m. to do this. To come to find out, that's how Brett got to school every day while he was at high school. It was a 1.5-hour trip each day, twice a day, just to get to school. You see, Brett's dad has difficulty holding a job, and the family moved quite a bit. We needed to find a more efficient way to get Brett to work each morning. Through the help of United Way of Summit and Medina counties and First Serve, we arranged Lyft rides each morning. In getting to know Brett, we learned that he wanted to take a year off from school to get a job and a car. His school counselor was encouraging him to go to the University of Akron, where he had been accepted. But Brett had not completed his FAFSA application and could not see a way forward. This was a big step, and Brett had little hope of figuring out this by himself. After 2 weeks, he was able to get his parents' tax return information, and Brett submitted his FAFSA application. The next step was to tour the campus. I took Brett to the campus tour. I was the oldest mom on that tour. At the end of the tour, he absolutely loved it. He saw himself there. I then recruited the help of Jeff Coy, a church member and church treasurer, to join me and Brett at the United Way Financial Empowerment Center in Kenmore. We met with a financial coach who talked to Brett about bank accounts, when to buy a car, and how not to get in debt, et cetera, et cetera. Brett was eager to hear this, saying he wished his parents were here to hear this too. Jeff and Brett met up later to open a bank account. Jeff also took Brett back to campus to meet with professors in his area of interest, computer science. That day on campus ended with the meeting with the financial aid office, where Brett learned he would receive a Pell Grant, a full ride to college. He was so excited. There was a glimmer of hope that he was going to get to college. Jeff had earned Brett's trust. The next step was finding a way to cover room and board. Living at home was not an option for Brett if he was going to succeed. His family did not believe in college nor support his decision to go. Room and board is $10,000 a year. We were going to find a way to do this. After sharing Brett's story, another church member asked if he and his wife could help. They wanted to contribute $5,000 as a match to anyone who wanted to join this effort. We told Brett we were able to cover his room and board. Not only that, we received $1,000 in donations for all items he would need in his dorm, along with some new clothes. We took Brett on a shopping spree at Target, then to Kohl's for clothes. He told me he had never been in such a nice store. Chris, Jeff, and I moved Brett into his dorm on August 22nd. His parents rode along with us, expressing their thankfulness to us for taking such good care of their son. Every few days, one of us checks in with Brett to see how he's doing. Each reply says, "I love this, it is going great." Brett grew to trust First Serve. Now we have a relationship with a young man who is on his way to achieving his hopes and dreams. Let me tell you about Tanya, one of our other summer interns. Tanya, a graduating senior at North High School, is a member of the National Honor Society and attended schools kindergarten through 12th grade in the Akron Public Schools. She did everything right. She was not looking forward to the end of her senior year. To her, her future looked hopeless. Tanya is an undocumented immigrant from Mexico. Her family came into this country when she was 3 months old. Because Tanya is undocumented, she has no status in this country. She cannot get a driver's license. She cannot get a photo ID because she has no social security number. She cannot get a paying job. Her only option is to be a server at the Mexican restaurant where her mother works. Tanya wants to be a teacher. Tanya's only hope to have a future was to get her DACA status. The day after she applied, a federal judge in Texas ordered all new DACA applications to cease. This was Tanya's second summer with us as a First Serve intern. We had a trusted relationship with her, and we knew we had to do something. My husband and I met with the admissions director at Stark State University in downtown Akron. We talked about Tanya's situation. He said this is very common with students from North High School. We were encouraged to know that she could attend, but due to having no status, she would have to pay out-of-state tuition, $8,000. There's free tuition for students at Stark State as freshmen. I shared Tanya's story with a group at church looking to start a scholarship program for summer interns. Through the generosity of that group, we were able to cover the cost of Tanya's tuition. It's my hope that within these 4 years of school, DACA applications will resume. Tanya grew to trust First Serve. Now we have a relationship with a young woman who is on her way to achieving her hopes and dreams. Relationships do build hope. First Serve has been building relationships for the past 10 years, mainly in Greater Akron. For the past 5 years, we have focused our work in the North Hill community of Akron. How do you build trust? You behave in a trustworthy manner. That's what we do with First Serve. We don't overpromise. We do keep the promises we make. We listen to our kids. We are not a one and done organization. We do the same with our community partners. As most of you are aware, North Hill has historically been a diverse community of immigrants and still is today. And let me give you an example. We've had a relationship with Finley CLC. It is an elementary school in North Hill for over 10 years. More than 17 different languages are spoken by the students in that school. And many of the children do not speak English. Imagine teaching in that classroom and imagine those challenges. First Serve listens to the challenges and what they are trying to do in the community. We don't come in telling them what we think they need. We lead with, what do you need and how can we help? We do this with Doug Wurst at the Akron Co-op Farm. We do this with Gary and Patricia Wyatt at the North Hill Community House. We do this with Reverend Rodney Bowden at the Rooted in Christ Community Church, with Jeff and Corvia in the city of Akron, with Michael Howard and the Friends of Elizabeth Park, with Trinity UCC Clothing Room, with the International Institute of Akron. And we do this with the Akron Public Schools, especially with North High School. North High School is one of the few APS schools that will not be rebuilt. At the time of determining which schools to rebuild, North High School's population was declining and at a time, not a priority. Today, North High School and all the schools in North Hill are full and thriving, but there no longer is funding to support the building of a new high school. Today, First Serve has become a trustworthy partner, which works to meet the needs of organizations and the people in North Hill with a focus on North High School. We listen to the teachers, the administrators, and the coaches. We support them with classroom volunteers, revitalizing their teachers' lounge, removing old lockers, created an athletic Hall of Fame photo display, providing teacher appreciation lunches, teacher treat bags, grant money to purchase items to enhance learning of their students, revitalizing a school clothing room, building shelving and organizing classroom materials, providing weekly pasta dinners for the football team, painting a sidewalk mural with flags representing all the many countries the students at that school come from. And the list goes on and on. How did this start? It begins with an annual day of service, the second weekend in September. First Congregational Church of Hudson partners with Temple Beth Shalom and the Islamic Society of Akron and Kent and several other Hudson and Akron faith communities, along with other groups. On the day of service, over 400 volunteers gather at North High School for ascending service and then go to their project sites for the day. Projects are located at the school as well as at our partner organizations I just mentioned. This day of service brings people together who would not otherwise meet to work on projects. By working side by side on projects, relationships form and hopefully grow. As relationships grow, a level of trust develops. As trust develops, you can begin to impact lives, one person at a time, one Brett, one Tanya, and hundreds of others who get involved in First Serve. I would now like to introduce Katie Babitsky, one of our Hudson High School summer interns, who will share how being a First Serve intern has impacted her life.
Good morning, everyone. So as Sue said, I'm a senior at Hudson High School this year. This past summer, I was a First Serve intern, and this was truly a life-changing opportunity. I've grown up in Hudson. We moved here just so I could start kindergarten. And I can say I've loved the presence of the Hudson bubble very much. I am a big Hudson fan. I cheer for the football team. I live and breathe Hudson High School. So when I got this opportunity this summer, I was a little nervous at first. I didn't really know quite what to expect. But service has always been something super important to me. And this opportunity gave me service experiences that I'd never had before. I never thought that I would be farming hand in hand with a Nepali farmer, teaching me his techniques that he does back at his home country. I never thought that we could truly change a space like we did at the Trinity UCC clothing room. When we got there, the room was covered. There was quite literally no walking room. And in those 3 days we were there, the impact was enormous. They can now organize their clothes and get them much easier. We worked at kids camps. We worked all over at North High School. But what I really learned this summer is it's not about what I did for the community. It's what the community did for me. And above anything else, this summer taught me how important relationships are. I have never experienced such love every day that I did this summer. I learned about new cultures. I learned all different perspectives. And I can truly say that this experience I'm so grateful for, and I'm so grateful to Chris and Sue for giving me the opportunity to engage with the community and learn something new.
Thanks. Thank you, Katie. I'd like now to ask my co-director, Kres Stoehr, to come up and speak a bit. Can we try the video or? Yes? Oh, we're going to try the video. Okay.
I'm Sue Wimer, co-chair of First Serve. I'd like to take this opportunity to allow you to meet our summer interns and hear from them about their experiences this summer of working together in North High School and in the greater North Hill community.
I thought that it was more like donations and all that, but here it's more just you help with them, you help, like you volunteer more, you're more active with it.
Can I?
I'd say it's changed in the fact that you really can do a lot of service work close to home. I think a lot of people think that, you need to go far, all the way, whether it be in our church for ASP, you got to go all the way out to West Virginia to really make a difference, but you can really just go down the road or stay in your own community and really make that difference. So, and I think the interns and myself are really seeing that.
And where
at
he
the different
actually
sites we've
is
been
where
to, so
Katie
that's
talked
been
about. This is the Trinity clothing room. And the kids had an opportunity to work in there for about a week trying to organize. Here's Katie, and she was telling a little bit about her time working with Michael Howard with Elizabeth Park. They had the opportunity to spend some time working at a summer camp for kids in the Cascade Village area. And they spent the time at Cleveland Metro Parks and also at Cuyahoga Valley National Park, learning a little bit about the environment and about water quality. So this is Brett, who Sue spoke about earlier, and he was telling a little bit about his experience with First Serve and about his opportunity to go to college. And the first part of that was also, this is at Akron Co-op Farms. That is Jeremiah, and this is Jeremiah's second year working as an intern for us. And he was explaining a little bit about how much service means to him and what the impact it's had on him as a Hudson resident, as a junior at Hudson High School. This is Chandra. She is a refugee from Nepal. And she had a huge impact. She was very shy and very quiet when she first started working for us. And by the end, she became such a blessing. She was able at so many different opportunities to actually talk to other natives from Nepal and be able to translate for us, which can be sometimes very difficult. This is Tanya. And again, this is Tanya's second year as an intern. Again, she was super shy when she first came to us, and now she's become, all the kids have become second children to us. And she's super excited about hopefully in the future becoming an elementary school teacher. And then our last intern that's featured here is Lillian. She is a sophomore at Hudson High School, and this was her first experience. And Lillian was explaining what a blessing it's been to be a part of First Serve and be a part of the intern program and learning about other cultures and other opportunities in the North Hill area. So it was a little video that we put together. It's very impactful when we share it, when the kids actually tell about their experience themselves and not kind of us telling people about it. Not just me rounding off the end. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about the intern program, since it's a program that's relatively new for us in First Serve, and we're super excited about it. It started about 4 years ago. We started with 2 Hudson High School students, and then we went on to, in the past 2 years, invite North High School students to be a part of it. We go through a process where we interview kids. We ask for recommendations from the high school principal and the guidance counselors to try to get to make sure that we have kids that will fit well into the program. And then we interview them, which is a little scary for a lot of them since many of them have never been to a job interview before. The kids work about 8 weeks during the summertime. They work 4 days. We provide transportation, as Sue talked about the need for the lift. We also have to pick the kids up sometimes at their homes and get them down there. We also learned very quickly last year that we needed to provide food for lunch. One of our first days last year with our new intern students, we had pizza. The next day we told them to bring a slack lunch because that's what we all do. And the Hudson kids sat down and started eating, and we realized that our North kids had no food. So we quickly changed our program and started providing food for the kids every day throughout the entire summer. Sometimes we have picnic lunches, and then our other kind of fun thing we do is we try to expose the kids to all different kinds of foods from different nationalities, like the Nepali kitchen or the Mexican restaurant that Tanya's mom's worked at. And then there's always the kids' favorites, Cane's and Swenson's, some of those American favorites that you gotta love. So the kids spend about a week at each of our different community partners, working with the partners. They, like Katie talked about, at Akron Co-op Farms, they work with Nepali farmers and learned how they farm, which is very different from how Americans farm. At Patterson Park, they helped with a basketball camp and got a chance to also work with some younger children doing some arts and crafts. At North Hill Community House, we did some cleaning, and we also participated in the Akron Night Out, which was a very exciting evening for us. So we enjoyed our time with Gary Wyatt. At Elizabeth Park, I think I explained, we worked at a day camp. And then we did projects all over North High School, everything from cleaning and scrubbing to repainting things and just doing things that they needed to do around the school. So that's a little bit about our intern program, and I can open it up now if people have questions about First Serve or the internship program. Anybody have any questions?
Can you tell us a little bit about your clothing area
Sure, the clothing room, we have two that we help with. The most important one is probably our one at North High School. Many of the students at North High School come from low income or no income families. And so they frequently have one or two changes of clothing. So they provide clothing for the students. They can come in at any time during the day and get clothing, shirts, pants. We even provide, we buy new underwear and socks. We've been really blessed for last year, and we're going to do it again this year as Hudson High School students. Some of the sports teams are doing a hoodie drive for us, and we'll be able to provide hoodies for the high school students. So it's just an opportunity for them to come in. You know, they come to school and sometimes since they only have one outfit, sometimes it's just dirty and they just need a clean outfit to wear. The other one is at Trinity UCC, and we help support that as well. That provides clothing more to the whole community. And just recently, we've paired them up with the International Institute, and they're actually providing bags of clothing for specific sizes of specific families that are coming to the United States with specific sizes.
If
Other
people
questions?
want to participate in First Serve or donate or do both, how would they do that?
Sure. As far as participating in First Serve, coming up on September 10th is our day of service. And in the back, there's a postcard that gives the link, but you have to go to joinfirstserve.org and you can sign up there. There's all kinds of projects in the North Hill area that you can sign up, everything from painting to gardening to, picking up trash, to working in classrooms. There's, you name it, and it's probably something on there that you can find to do. So we would love to have everyone come out and participate. If you'd like to make a contribution to First Serve, we have some information again in the back. You can contribute to helping these projects go. You can contribute to making sure that the internship program continues. We do get some grants to sponsor the interns. We do pay the interns a small stipend so they have money to spend during the school year. So all that obviously costs money, and we can give you some more information. But along the back, please stop by as you leave. There's pens, there's stickers and magnets for your car, and we'd love to be able to, give those out.
Thank you. What a great presentation. I'm just curious, it looks like you have a massive infrastructure really at work here. How did this begin? Is this just a group within the parish that began it? And is this kind of morphed into a larger cooperation with another parish? And I heard the United Way involved. So can you just a little of the backstory of how did First Serve really begin? And
So I'll start, but I'm relatively new. I've been working with First Serve, I think, for 5 or 6 years. So Sue can probably address it a little bit better, but it started out of a response about 9/11. And the church itself wanted to do something to, give back to the community, to form relationships, to just be a part of something bigger. And so originally it started with just working within the Hudson area, and then it moved for a short time up to Cleveland. And then we went down to Summit Lakes in Akron. And throughout that time, we continued to build the relationships with other faith communities, the Islamic Society of Akron and Kent, and Temple Beth Shalom, working with James and some of the other members there. And then as the years have progressed, we just keep adding more faith communities. We're trying to get more faith communities to just be a part of it. The Methodist Church has joined on. We have several in Fairlawn and Bath. And so we're constantly looking for more people, and we're looking for other partners. We're always adding more partners in the North Hill area. I think most recently, I think we've, kind of facilitated the relationship more with the Institute. So I don't know if Sue wants to add anything else to it, but that's kind of how we're always growing and always evolving. And we've really found a passion. We love spending time in the North Hill community, but the passion we are really finding is in helping North High School just try to make it a better place and to try to help the students there. You know, the Tanya and Brett stories are just 2 stories out of a whole school of 950 students that, you know, they just need some kind of hope. They just need some kind of way to realize that they're a part of something bigger.
One fun fact. So the Congregational church had started this, and they had wanted to include the temple and the Islamic Center. And so they wanted a way to contact each of these groups. Well, it turns out in Hudson, the truly international group is the Summer Soccer League. Has people from just about every nation, and just not only people live here, but people work in, you know, various areas, service areas and so forth. So one of their members, Trip Kern, who's very active in soccer, contacted myself and AJ Ahmed Jabdallah, who is with the Islamic Center, and then we initiated that. So if you want to do something international, just head over to the Soccer Association. But anyway, so that's as Chris mentioned, that has grown quite a bit.
Thanks, James.
There was an article in the Washington Post within the last week or two, and you probably have seen that of all the violence and gun violence in cities this summer, Washington, D.C. has had a particularly tough summer. I think Saturday or Sunday night, Saturday night in Washington, 8 people ended up in the emergency room. 8 people ended up in the emergency room, and it got a lot of national press because one of those people ended up being who was projected to be the starting tailback for the Washington, yes, Commanders. Thank you. And in this article on the Washington Post, it said, everybody wonders why there's such violence in these city environments, typically city environments. And one reason is lack of hope. When there's lack of hope, people lash out and they don't know how to respond. And I get involved in this, and if you can help one person at a time, you walk away from that so much better off yourself than what you've done. But I highly recommend getting it. And there's a lot of people in this room that are in it.
Hi, I think to dovetail on that, they've done some studies looking at school shooters, and they've looked at the kids who thought about doing school shootings but didn't. And those who didn't were those who had someone who became their mentors. So I think, again, giving these young people hope is what we can do. And your organization is amazing. And I think getting more publicity out for it will get more of us to join. So I think this is absolutely wonderful.
Thank you so much.
One interesting fact about North High School in Akron, it's the most diverse high school in the state of Ohio. So it has more nationalities, more languages spoken than any other high school in the state. And it's in our backyard. So what are some of your challenges in working in those communities in terms of language, culture, and being opening to all of them that want to be able to participate?
Great question. Thanks for bringing up that information. First Serve, when we initially went into North Hill, we had partnerships. Our church has partnerships, outreach partnerships with different organizations, and we knew how to work with them. What we're trying to do is actually work on individual homes and down different streets, but we had made an error. We had not established a relationship ahead of time, which allowed for a level of trust. At the time, ISIS was very, ICE was very active in North Hill, and anybody looking like us was considered suspicious and don't open the door, don't connect for fear of immigration situations. So we were very limited in what we could do for the individual residents. So we decided, where can we establish the biggest level of trust? And that was through North High School, Finley School, and our smaller organizations. So that's where we dove in. And now that United Way of Summit and Medina counties have opened a family resource center at North High School, that has also now brought in families for looking for resources and acclimation to the community. As we partner with the Family Resource Center, we are now earning the trust of people. So what we're hoping to do is, in the next couple of years, begin to move into the community neighborhood. And we used to do easy home repairs, installing safety lights, repairing decks or front steps, painting, but the focus had to change because we weren't being trusted. We're not, we're white and we're from Hudson, and we weren't part of that community. So now that we are more engaged that way.
I think as far as the language barrier goes, I think that's where our students have really helped us a lot. They're able, Tanya obviously speaks fluent Spanish, and Chandra speaks several different dialects from Nepal. And then last year we had Saraza, who was from the Congo, a refugee from the Congo, and she spoke 4 different languages. So those kids help us tremendously. I think the recognition now that we've spent so much time at North High School, people recognize, like, whenever we're in the school, we wear our First Serve shirts. And now, like, all the kids wear them and the staff wears them. But I think when the kids see that, they recognize us. And so when they see us out in the community, I've had several times where the kids will actually interpret for their parents, because a lot of the little children understand English, and they also can speak their native language. And so that, just the recognition and spending more and more time there has helped us develop that, comfort and that trust. And we do depend on our kids as well.
So, yes, Katie. Oh, no. Oh, no, don't clap yet. But thanks. But we're going to wind up here real quick. But I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you. We do have funding sources from the Huntington Akron Foundation. Akron Community Foundation supports us. CertaPro Painters, First Congregational supports, Temple Beth Shalom, and the Islamic Society of Akron and Kent. It takes approximately $95,000 a year to run this program. The intern program alone is $20,000. So we're always trying to be a year ahead in our funding so that we have the money. We pay for all the projects. We pay for all of the paint, all of the wood, all of the fences, everything that we do. We pay. We bought a brand new refrigerator for the maintenance staff at North High School. I mean, huge. So anyway, we're always looking for more supporters, more sponsors, whether it's an individual, whether it's a business, or whether it's an organization. And if this moves you and you would like to support us in any way, especially to volunteer, don't hesitate. Our information is on the back shelf. But thank you very much.
I feel like I'm on good authority to say you're doing God's work. So yeah, keep at it. Great job. Wrote a book today. The payout is a whopping $8. Was it Katie? Was that your name? Will you come and draw for us a winning number? All right.
59952.
Did you win again? Hi, thank you so much. Of course you did. Of course you only bought one ticket. Okay. Yeah, I can't remember. I didn't see what the payout was, but it's not as much as the last time you won. All right. No, not this time. Oh, back at it. Oh, yeah. Instead of a story, I'll leave you with a quick quote. This one from Martin Luther, the famed reformer of the 16th century, who told these Reformed Christians, God does not need your good works, but your neighbor does. So yeah, go. Be a great Rotarian, make a difference in the world.